Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak with you all today. My name is Jeremy Litton. I live at 226 Colonial Circle in Jackson. On Friday, January 4th, I had let my dog Pugsley out in our secured, fenced backyard and to use the bathroom. And I went back to let him in at approximately 7:10 a.m. And when I walked to the door, I saw 3 pit bulls running around in my backyard viciously. In the back corner of my yard, I saw my dog lying motionless in the mud. My wife called the police. We're close to the 4th precinct. The policemen got there within 10 minutes. I appreciate that. While the police were on their way, I went out to retrieve my dog and took him to the vet. As I was getting him into my car, the front passenger seat, these 3 dogs appeared again and charged me. It was only from jumping into my back seat and crawling over my 3-year-old son's car seat that I was able to get into the front seat and go to the vet's office. This was about the time the police arrived. After they had left, the dogs had left charging me, they charged the front door and the police officers. The police officers only escaped injury from running into my house. While I was at the vet with my dog who died that evening, JPD called Animal Control. Animal Control came out and they captured the 3 dogs. While they were capturing them, the dogs were vicious. The JPD officers noted their viciousness. Later that day, we tried to follow up with Animal Control and spoke to Paul Perry. He's the director of Animal Control, and he told us that he had immediately released those dogs back to their home, to the fence that they got out of, to the owner that they escaped, with no investigation, no attempt to secure the premises, no questions asked. The dogs were returned. Jackson Ordinance 18100A states that a dangerous dog means any dog that causes an injury to a person or domestic animal. Therefore, under the laws of this city, the laws that this council passed, these dogs are dangerous. And Paul Perry ordered them to go back to the owner, to the fence they had escaped from. He knew that those dogs had attacked my dog. He knew that those dogs had charged me and put me in fear. He knew that the dogs charged JPD, and he knew that they were violent when they were captured. But Paul Perry still released them. And when my wife asked Paul Perry why, or what the issue was, Paul Perry responded to her that that's just dogs being dogs. My dog dying in my backyard is a tragedy for our family, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here because that was January 4th, and I fear what would have happened if it was January 8th, when the kids went back to school. In my neighborhood, as I'm sure in many people's neighborhoods, kids are lined up at the bus stop at 7:10, and that I worry that had that not been for luck, sheer luck, as opposed to what Paul Perry should have been doing, which is protecting the city, a child could have been harmed. He is not doing his job. These are dangerous dogs per the city ordinance, and I came here to let you know what Animal Control is not doing. I came here to tell you that the Animal Control Supervisor is supposed to be protecting us from dangerous animals, and he is not. And now the city is on notice. It is in the minutes of the city council meeting that dangerous dogs are being released by Paul Perry, and when one of them injures a child, we all knew about it. We all knew about it.
All right.
And so I just want to point out that Paul Perry not only is not doing his job, he's very, I called him a jerk, and I think he is. And I think that he stands in stark contrast to the professionalism that I experienced from JPD. Corporal Dexter Johnson came out to our house. He was a first responder. He took care of us. He did a great job. I've talked to many of the command people in JPD. They've done an excellent job. The mayor's office, we've talked to them. They've done great work. And Paul Perry is the outlier there, and the city council needs to do something. I don't think he works for our city, and I certainly don't think he should be employed by it.
All right. First off, let me say I'm sorry about the loss of your dog. That's always horrible to lose a pet, especially in circumstances like that. Let me ask the clerk's office, can we put on to the agenda for the next meeting an update from Animal Control so we can get a full briefing and we can do some work on this? And I appreciate you reaching out to the council about this.
Thank you.
Mr. Foote.
I just wanted to apologize to Mr. Lodson for the traumatic events you had to go through with your family and and your pet, and I pledge that we'll do whatever's necessary to straighten this out, because the whole neighborhood gets traumatized when something like that happens, because they're really not sure if they're safe outside, and we need to make sure that the neighborhoods are comfortable in their own safety and security.
Just if I may respond, our neighborhood's one that people walk their kids around in their strollers. People walk their own dogs on leashes. People seem to enjoy being out and about in our neighborhood, and I can tell you from a number of our neighbors, they're scared to do that. Not to mention the fact that my kids are scared just to go to the car.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Our next speaker